Live.
Ooh, we're live. Wake up, everybody. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Iron and Ceramite podcast. My name is John, and as always, I'm joined by Shane. Hello, Shane.
Good evening.
And Glenn has rejoined us. How are you, Glenn?
I'm good.
I've got an echo on there. Right, where we start, we got loads to talk about. We almost started before we were recording. So
Yes,
there's hobby, there's releases, there's other stuff, I'm sure. I feel like we all want to start with Glenn, don't we?
I think it's very important we do so.
Yeah.
Well, I not just myself. My wife done some hobby yesterday slash
Ah,
today. She painted her first Space Marine. Is not particularly easy to capture.
look at that.
Um,
Magenta and pink.
um, so basically Screamer pink with a wash, and then done a bit of detailing with Emperor's Children, I believe it was.
Very nice.
Yes. Basically, she wanted to do a little bit to encourage me to actually sit down and do some goddamn painting. Even to the extent that we even went into Chatham Games Workshop, and
Okay.
I offered to buy her something, offered to pick up, but we didn't really need paints because I've still got shit ton of paints, which are all still good, surprisingly. And she was like, "No, I'll do a Space Marine." I was like, "Right, tell you what, we'll grab you one of the little intro. Here's your free Space Marine kind of
Yeah.
thing."
Mm-hmm.
So built it herself, done her bit of painting. I busted out a bit of the old Games Workshop intro to painting knowledge for her. And
Very good.
yeah, she got on well with it. And then I sat and churned through over yesterday evening and today. Uh, uh, 40, 47 Grey Knights are now green.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a layer of contrast, to be fair, but it's more paint that I put on a model in probably 4 or 5 years minimum. So, yeah, at least the contrast's on. I might go and give them a little dry brush around some of the edges to highlight them up a little bit, but I'm not too sure what to do with them because it's contrast over metallic. I
Yeah.
don't know if I go with a metallic highlight to emphasize the metallicness of the green, or if I go
Mm.
with a green highlight, it's going to be a matte highlight, so it's going to look weird. So not too sure on that one. So I might just give
Yeah.
them, might try a little bit of a, so obviously it's a silver base, so I might try a little bit of a silver highlight just to pick out some of the edges to really emphasize the silver um base underneath.
Just saying
But we'll
it.
see.
Just saying that. I've literally right in front of me on the desk, and it's because of the Necrons. I've got this war paint from the Army Painter,
Hmm.
glittering green metallic.
Right.
So if you wanted to do that's a good color. If you wanted to do a metallic green dry brush,
Interesting. Oh, depends on if it's the right
it's got to
green
be the
for the
right shade. Yeah,
yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, it might be too light, too much. But
But I'll see. I'll gonna potentially
metallic greens are out there.
yeah. But I'll once I start doing it, picking out some of the details, then I'll see if it needs the highlight or if I can get away with just the contrast as the uh happy with the overall effect, and then with the details picked out and done properly, then might be okay. I'm not looking forward to the Dread Knights and the Land Raider because that's a lot of big flat surfaces and not fantastic with contrast. But
No, yeah, it becomes like yeah, really difficult with contrast because you get that pooling and speed is your
yeah, it's,
friend.
it's very difficult to um, work with the flat surfaces with the
Yeah,
contrast. So we shall
yes,
see.
I completely agree. I've found that with the Necrons quite extensively. Um, and even to be fair, when I first started using contrast and I did it for the Space Wolves, I think I've got a squad of Terminators and a squad of 5 Assault Intercessors that I did with the contrast and then gave up on it. The
Hmm.
Space Wolves Grey contrast is particularly difficult to use. because it pulls, it gets really streaky, you get lots of tide marks. It's just, and that's just on power armor.
Yeah.
So it was like, no, I'm done with this on Marines.
Whenever Contrast first came out, I was thinking it's pretty much going to be an organic models was the only thing I was going to use it on.
Yeah,
But because it's a dip and slap it on basically, so I thought that'll do for the base of these. So originally I was going to do them for demons, tyrannids, and orc skin and stuff like that, and then do anything that was not organic, pinned properly, like base
yeah.
layer, shade, highlight, all that kind of stuff. But I just needed to get a base layer on, basically. I've done something all right. That's that's
It's
that's that's
Hey,
better than that's better than I've done for years.
yeah,
it's an amazing step. Like it's like you're what, how many models? 40? Like look from the picture, it looked like a decent chunk of the points, I would imagine.
That's 47. Yeah, 47. So
Yeah.
all the interceptors, all the strikes, the purgation, the terminators, and the two characters.
And
So
strictly speaking, you now pick out a few details. They're tournament ready.
I mean, technically, all the helmets are still silver, and so yeah, I've got 2 out of 3 colors on there.
that dry brush will get you over the line, then, won't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
You
I
just
just
have
need
to bring the 3 pots with you to say no. It is a different silver.
maybe I'll just go around with a bit of black and do the shafts of the weapons, and that'll do.
Yeah,
No, just yeah, it's probably about what? So there's a Land Raider and 2 Dread Knights. So it's probably about 1,400 points worth of yeah, about 1,400 points
There we
done.
go.
I mean that's not bad, is it? From nothing to
Yeah,
over 1,000 points in a day.
yeah.
I was
Like
going to say you can rest now for a couple of years, but we don't want you to.
no, well, like originally I had said I wanted to do 2,000 points this year, and I've done nothing for 8 months, and all of a sudden I've gone shit. It's getting a bit close. I've only got I'm 2/3 of the way through the year, and I've done nothing. Right, let's do some painting.
Yeah.
Well,
I reckon
very
I'll
good.
I reckon I'll get the 2,000 points finished by the end of the year.
If you carry on at this speed, you will. Yeah.
Yeah, you might even get like a couple of games of your campaign finished by the end
Well,
of the year, by the sounds of it.
we'll come on to the
Hopefully.
campaign in a minute. We
Yeah.
have had a question in the chat. So 2 questions back to back from Dave. Metallic for characters, green for grunts? Question mark. And then at you, John. What are your plans for paints for the orcs?
Seeing as you're actually supposed to be on here, Dave, part of this, I don't feel like I want to answer your questions. But I have plans. Shane saw them yesterday as I did a bit of homework, a bit of arts and crafts. So I'm going to try and do like the Great War, and I've got the paint schemes that I've stolen off of a YouTube tutorial. So that was the Goths. I've done the same for all the main factions, and then I've got a stack of paint there.
Yeah.
That's what we're going for. Bit of everything, and then for skin tone, they're going to be based in Orc flesh, and then all the highlights and layers in Krieg khaki with a Biltan green shade. So we'll see how that looks.
Very pale orcs by the looks of it.
Sorry?
Very pale looking orc skin.
The Orc is quite pale. I think the shade darkens them.
Yeah.
From what I watched, they look pretty good. I'll have to find a YouTube channel that I pinched that from because I watched loads and loads of videos, and that was the one I settled on and got his ideas for all the paint schemes. The next tricky one, we're working out exactly what I'm doing with all the vehicles and stuff and what clans they're going to belong to. But if I start with the boys, I can do 10 per. I'm going to have to do 10 for the 6 clans I've got, and then go from there. That's the starting plan, and then we'll expand with the immeasurable wave of models that are coming out.
Yeah, lots of releases coming for the orcs.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we can either go into that or we can segue into campaign. Whatever you guys prefer. We
What do you
can
want to
cover.
do, Ben?
I want to hear more about everybody else's hobby since I've done some.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here just resenting you for actually doing hobby. So I will gladly hear about this the campaign that you've started.
Okay. Well, where do you want to start with it? Because there's a few angles. We can either talk about the game itself or the admin hammer side of things, as we started talking about before we recorded.
I want to hear about
Yeah.
the Advent Hammer because I know nothing of it. I've
Yeah.
not looked at or dabbled with
Let me
basically
show
the
you
new version of Crusade.
some admin hammer. So that is
So
all the
all the cards.
cards.
So
That what was
basically,
required for one game.
well, no, it's not one game. So
Oh right, oh Jesus.
yeah, what they do is they give you the so it's called the Dominatus deck, and it's because it's the deck for this at the start of this edition, it's Armageddon focused, right? So all of the locations are on Armageddon, supposed to be Armageddon, and basically you pick your. So I think the idea is that ideally you have multiple um multiple sort of players. So maybe four or six or even more people that are all going to play the campaign rather than just two people. And then you put yourselves into factions, and the factions are liberators, oppressors, and raiders. So, taking Armageddon, for example, the liberators would be the Space Marines and Imperials. The oppressors would be the Orcs, and then the raiders would be people like, Drakari, Chaos, anyone like that that isn't maybe as narratively involved, but that's the faction you're playing, and you get to pick who they are. So you decide what you want to be. So for R1, because I was playing the Space Wolves, I said, okay, I'll be Liberators. John was playing Death Guard, and you went Raiders, John?
Front Raiders, yeah.
Went Raiders. So kind of stuck to that narrative from that point of view. Once you've decided that, you then have it kind of gives you a guideline of like the minimum number of encounters, which are battles, that you do in each phase of the campaign. And a campaign is 3 phases. So in phase 1, it recommends you do at least 2 encounters. Phase 2, it's the same, 2 encounters, and then phase 3, it says you can minimum is 1. You can just stop at 1. So your minimum size campaign is like 5 battles in length. And what you do for the first battle, so first encounter that me and John did, is you roll off on a D3 to determine which location you're going to use in phase 1. So this is one of the Armageddon locations. And we got, what was it called? The Morphean line or not Mordian?
Morphean line, I think. Yeah.
Morphean line, which basically gives a rule for the battle. So it was quite good in that regard. It made it quite narrative. So it meant that infantry units got a 5 up invuln against shooting, because obviously they're trying to make it narrative that you're on an entrenched line, so you get a 5 up invuln against all shooting. And then if you're hidden, like your hidden ranges, your detection range is smaller, again, for infantry that's hidden and stationary. So like a narrative rule that applies to both armies. That's fine. I think we forgot about it in the first couple of turns anyway, and then click turn 3. Oh, everyone's got a 5 up invuln. I think it only came up once or twice anyway, but
yeah.
I
fine.
mean, things like that happen whenever it's additional rules to what you're normally used to playing with. So it's so easy to do.
Yeah. So it was quite cool though, like in terms of that kind of overall rule. That's fine. So you do that. That determines, yeah, okay, so you've got your battlefield, you've got your game rule, and then you get a little card that tells you based on your disposition and your opponent's disposition. There we go, John's got it there. Look, nice little track that tells you which agenda you're going to play. Now, your agenda effectively is a narrative primary mission that you can choose to play instead of your disposition's primary mission.
Okay.
So when you play a standard game of 11, you know, if I'm what's it called? Disruption, and John's taken hold, like your standard primary gets generated and you can play that. With the campaign, you get a different one that's narrative to the mission you're playing. So my one was, even though I was a disruption disposition, what I had to do was actually try and take objectives that were in John's territory, so effectively the middle, his expansion and his home, and try and hold them. But then I would get bonus points if I took an objective that John held at the start of the turn.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I was disruption, my mission was very take and hold. And then John's mission, even though he was taken hold, was very disruption because he had to do loads of actions to, what was it, to spot objectives and spot units, right, John? John may have frozen. It looks like on the screen. Yeah, looks frozen. So yeah, so John had to do he had to do an action. So his was very action orientated. And what that meant was, even though he was taken hold, and his one was, again, it's like spotting a unit and spotting a objective. Spotting a unit gave him 5 VP a turn, and the spotting an objective gave him I think it was 10 VP up to a maximum, that then scored at the end of the game. So he was trying to get as many as he could. Yeah, he's just said his internet's dropped out. I'm sure he'll be back on a second. He was trying to get as many as he could. So that was the agendas. So they're the sort of secret agenda. They're not secret. They're just, you play them instead of your primary mission. And then what happens is, if you score, you're back, John. I think he's back. We'll find out.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. What you then have to do is, as you go through the game, if you score, there's conditions that are set for the agendas. So if you score 35 victory points via your agenda scoring, or if you scan a number of objectives and opposition units, for John, for example, you get an agenda achieved bonus, which we'll come on to. And then for me, it was if I scored 35 points or held John's home objective, or held like all of the objectives in John's territory, then I would also get my agenda achieved point. And then on top of that, whichever player wins the battle, they get to draw a battle honor, and whoever loses the battle gets to draw a battle skill. And if you've achieved your agenda, rather than just drawing one at random, you draw 2 and pick the one you want to keep.
Okay.
So that all makes sense from that point of view. And then once you've got those, so you've got those battle honors or battle skills, you then apply them in the next encounter that you have, which will be on one of the 2 remaining locations in that sort of phase 1 location list.
Mm-hmm.
And then depending on what happens then, so then once you've done that, you then move to phase 2. But what you do by that point is you should hopefully have a clearer idea of which faction, whether it's raiders, oppressors, or liberators, and in our case it will just be liberators and raiders, which one is winning, and which one's got the most battle honors and which one is in ascendancy, because that will then determine the narrative output at the end of the campaign. And you kind of, so in each phase, so each battle, you're battling for control of a location, and then you're battling for winning that phase. And then obviously that then goes through those 5 battles across the 3 different phases. And depending on whether you win or lose depends on what kind of buff you get. So I think that the battle honors and the skills are fairly similar, like, because the ones we got, I got the Undying Duty battle honor, which means on a unit, I can give it to a character who's leading a unit. If models in that unit are killed, like if they're killed in combat, for the number that are killed, I then roll a dice, and on a 5, they dish back mortal wounds to the unit that killed them. So it's just like it effectively means that if I put it on my blob of 10 blood claws, when John inevitably charges them with Death Shroud or something like that, if he kills them, like then it enables like maybe I'll be able to put mortal wounds back on the Death Shroud, which is always quite useful.
Not bad.
And then John's one, you got the tactical redeployment battle skill, right?
Yeah.
So that one there is
So
yeah.
So I basically, in the redeploy unit step, I can either rearrange 3 units, or I can take them off, stick them in strat reserves, and they don't go towards your strat reserve count. So basically, you can hide quite a nice chunk of your army if you want to. So that's pretty good.
It's very good shenanigans, especially with things like spawn, because you can be like, I'm going to put them here, and then I'm going to you can effectively bait things out, because you can go, I'm going to put them here and make me think, oh, he's going to scout them onto there, and then once deployment's done, you go, well, no, actually, I'm going to put them over here, and I'm going to start with my Death Shroud on the board, for example, and be like, all the threats going to be here, and then suddenly you pick them up and go, and now it's over here, or they're back in deep strike. So it is quite a good skill to have.
And it's like, even if you lose the game, then you can, either way, you still, obviously, if you score enough points, things will be slightly different next game. So
yeah,
which is handy, I think, because I think it'll be a bit of a slog if you if you got your ass handed to you and you never ever improve, and the other person just picking up all these extra buffs to keep beating you. So it's nice that as long as you can keep up, everyone gets a little buff in the end.
Yeah, and it was quite interesting, because we were both, as soon as we sort of read the agendas and that, you could see we were very locked in on trying to score the agenda primary points. So I think we both pretty much maxed out, or near enough maxed out we did. So I had got my maxed out primary, so the agenda VP at 45, and John got his to near maxed out at 42. So we were both pushing to just make sure we scored those agenda points, that win or lose, you get the battle honor and the battle skill, and you're able to then pick one, because you've got enough points to pick 2 and choose the best one, rather than just get lumbered with one randomly.
Yeah, I had models laying on the floor being stabbed to death, just scanning stuff as they died, just to get me points.
Yeah.
Just before he got his head caved in.
yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah, it was very interesting, because the game itself was, because this was also the other thing we'd kind of agreed to do, was do the Highlander list approach. So one of every data sheet. So the lists were I say much more. They were a bit more experimental. Like actually, it transpired when I looked at the list that I was taking to tournaments anyway, that was a Highlander list anyway. So I was like, oh, I could just take the list. But I was like, no, I'll change it around a little bit. I didn't have any of the tanks in it, and I bought an Invicta Warsuit for a bit of fun, and some Eradicators and some Aggressors. Turns out the Aggressors were pretty good, so I was quite happy with them. And then John dropped some Death Shroud for a few different tanks and vehicles, right?
Yeah. I mean, I really did just have a bit of everything. I won't be taking that list to any tournaments anytime soon. Your list really didn't feel experimental; it just hurt. It was really good. And then,
I think,
I mean, I think on a different day, I mean, we're getting to it on a different day. If I didn't get absolutely overrun on the first turn, I might have done a bit more work against your army. But when you just get absolute,
turn one, basically, I just sent Well, I didn't send everything, but like everything was moving forward aggressively. So basically, if it wasn't
Yeah.
advancing, it was like the Thunder Wolves just bounded up as fast as they could and charged the spawn. I used, for the first time ever, I used Logan's ability to deep strike turn one and also charge the spawn. Um,
Mm.
and then that enabled me to consolidate into the Hellbrute and the Demon Prince, which kind of tied all of that up. So I killed the spawn, then tied up the Hellbrute and the Demon Prince, and took the expansion objective. And then everything else that advanced was all over the center as well. So it just kind of, yeah, kind of like it gave you a lot to think about really, really early. And obviously, because it was turn one, your Death Shroud couldn't come in at that point either.
Yeah, no, which is um, it was really baffling. Like to see someone turn one deep strike, you're like, okay, normally when you get deep strike, you know, you're going to have a bit of revenge, but then to have to wait another full turn because Shane went first as well. Like, and that first turn felt long as well
It
because
was a
the
very
amount that
long.
happened.
Well, normally
And
it's a bit of cautious shuffling, and then you go, and that's my turn.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas,
and then it's funny as well because I don't know, like we play different game modes, so I lost a little bit like tactical thought process because it's like when I did the scout move, my one scout move with the spawn, I should have just kept them where they were. The charges might have been had gone off anyway with the movement and the deep strike. I had a Hellbrute and a Demon Prince a lot closer that would have had to get into that combat. But because I'm like, well, they scout, so I'm going to scout onto this point and forgetting that bloody Thunderwolves move 100 inches, like, and could just cross the board in one turn. I was like, when he charged, I was like, well, yeah, of course he has. This is horrible.
yeah,
But, yeah, so you just sort of lose that, and then for the Hellbrute and Demon Prince to spend the 2 turns they lived just in the combat, and then yeah,
the trouble was as well is because Logan was there. All of your strats that you'd be like, oh, I'm going to interrupt, or I'm going to, you know, intervene, or whatever else.
yeah,
Because he makes it cost one more CP, it was just making it really expensive for you
yeah.
to do it.
And it really threw me out because when we were setting up, I was like, right, the scouts, the spawn are going on to this objective here. They're going to scan this objective, then move on to the middle one and scan that, and then they'll probably die. And then when the spawn got charged, like, okay, well now my tallyman has to step out of the safety of his office to scan, and then he got overwatched as well. I couldn't believe it. It was like so personal.
Yeah, well, I've got to try and kill the tallyman. Killing the tallyman's an instant win.
Yeah, and then yeah, somehow he just shut up. But it was good. It's like it's nice to do something different, but that was too different. Although we go back to the missions, so I've been playing Disruption the whole edition bar one match, which is actions, actions, actions. So I thought for this I'm going to do something different, have a bit of fun, do take and hold because I don't want to do actions. The fucking primary for me was all actions, and Shanks wasn't. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm sure with the campaign, and we'll see in the next one as well. We know in the next one. I'm sure with the campaign, for whatever reason, they seem to have made it that like it's opposite world for your primary.
Yeah.
But one thing I suppose we could do is because we don't need to keep the same, although we said we'll keep the same list, we don't need to keep the same dispositions.
That's true.
So like in the next one, because you've got access to, what have you got? Access to take and hold and
No, this is just take and hold because this is free DP.
Oh, okay. So you're only
So I am taking hold.
So I've got purge or disruption.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Because if I then go purge in the next one, then I'll probably end up with a, what is it? Because you're taking hold. I'll end up with a take and hold type one, and you'll end up with a try and kill me type ones. Maybe I won't do. Maybe I won't do purge.
No. I think we'll stick it out. Like I mean, it's not like I didn't have the cards here and could have checked beforehand, but I never in a million years thought they were going to bamboozle me and just say, yeah, carry on doing what you're doing with an
Yeah.
ineffective list. I really missed my poxwalkers.
Yeah, because
It's fine.
you only had one squad with Typhus, and
Yeah.
he did
Yeah.
all right though. He did all right. He did loads of mortal wounds. Didn't blow his
Yeah.
head off.
Yeah. He was all right. It weren't, this is the thing is when you get charged, because you can go, oh, it was a bad list, but when you get turn one charged and shut down, there's not a lot you can do. Like it wasn't
No.
like they're not bad models. The other thing, I was like, oh, bloody Plague Marines let me down again. But to be fair, I did charge a Rhino into your into your expansion on its own, just to kill
Yes.
some what are they called?
The
The
Eradicators.
Eradicators, just to kill the Eradicators, and then not really take into account the jump pack intercessors, the
Well,
blood claws, and the aggressors were stood there waiting for me.
and Bjorn and the
And Bjorn.
Ballistus, and it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like
So I killed three little infantry models, and then my Plague Marines and 4 characters got out and just got absolutely nuked into the ground.
yeah, that was quite an aggressive. Yeah, because it like
I just had
literally
bloodlust.
surrounded the Rhino, blew it up, and then you had to emergency disembark, and then there was all sorts of
Oh, shenanigans.
admin hammer to work out where people line up to, overrun attacks, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Luckily, all the mistakes I made with remembering what models were in what squad didn't matter because they all died anyway straight away. But
Yeah,
the fire light spawn stood around for a little bit and pointed his hose, but that was about it.
yeah, we did think for a moment there might actually be some sort of models lost to coherency,
Yeah.
a rarity, but no, they were all they were all killed.
Yeah, they just got their heads ripped off. But they were just thinking of the Defiler when they charged to
Yes,
get revenge and regretted it. So yeah, maybe I mean we'll obviously go to a different map layout. And I think they're both they're both not very good for me with the amount of movement you have. So
well,
um,
it'll be interesting because the we had a look at the two other locations because that was the other bit, and one of the locations is in a canyon, so it's quite interesting in that you can't. The mission rule is that you're not allowed to come in from reserves on the board edges.
yeah,
So you can come in from the backs because you're in a canyon, but you can't come in from the edges unless you've got fly or deep strike. And then if you're within 6 of those board edges because of the canyon walls, at the start of your turn, I think it is, you have to roll a hazard check on anyone that's within 6 because it's the falling rocks that are coming off the canyon walls. So that's quite cool. And then I can't remember the other one was the one where you get to do all of the turn. Everyone gets to do turn one deep strike, right?
yeah, something like, oh, you get to treat the round as if it's the next one for all your ingress moves,
Yeah,
and someone can rapid ingress for free for I think that's once per game.
yeah. It's one. You can pick one unit,
Yeah,
so it's quite yeah, that'd be quite fun.
it's pretty good. Yeah, especially with the battle honor I've got with the redeploy, it might come in handy actually.
I think that works out. Both work out really well in
Yeah.
that regard. Yeah. If anything, it's probably better than my one.
Well, let's hope. Yeah. So I got to get a scan in from afar. But no, it was nice to do something different, although it's very much the same game. Just to have like a different agenda to think about,
Yeah,
and it's like not too competitive. It's just like you're just trying to score some points so you can unlock something nice for the next game,
yeah,
which is what you want. But admin hammer side of it, that we were saying, like GW, like they've produced this box set of cards to play with, and they give you no tools to like unless
cool.
you go to pen and paper, but you can't score it on the app because the
Yeah,
option's not there.
I did wonder about that. I wonder is that going to be something they're going to bring in future?
It
But
might be
surely
something
they're
they
going
bring
to.
in. Yeah, well, I suppose they're because a lot of people were like, or a lot of people have been surmising that because this is replacing what did it Crusade rules. So effectively, there's no Crusade rules in the in the upcoming codexes. So this is how you play that kind of ongoing campaign. So that's the campaign. That's what it is. Um, and the idea, apparently, people have speculated. The idea is that they might bring out more decks as the edition goes on. So like how what did we have? We had the in the last edition, every time there was like a big update, it was given another sector name, and it was like you had different rules, and that was driving the narrative side on at the same time. The speculation is they'll do the same with this, but each time they might release a new deck of cards. So as like at the moment we're on Armageddon, and so all of the locations are Armageddon based. The next phase of the campaign or the next narrative phase might be somewhere else. So they're like, okay, here's a new deck. It's got new locations, new rules, new bits and pieces, other battle honors, stuff like that. Just to give it that kind of onward lifetime. If they were going to do that, you would think that they might add it to the app. And I mean, they didn't launch the app with Combat Patrol, and that came pretty quickly. Like that's now available in there for scoring. So maybe it will. Maybe it will come into the course. But right now, it's pen and paper.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. Like that was a long game, wasn't it? I didn't realize we didn't finish till nearly midnight.
Yeah, well, it was, as I said, I remember. I think I got home at 12:30, so we'd been at it for about 5.5, 6 hours.
Yeah,
But I think most of it was in the well, part of it was because normally turn 1 and 2 is relatively quick, but my turn 1 in particular was quite long in comparison because there was loads of stuff going on, and then that made turns 2 and 3 quite long as well.
yeah, but to be fair, turn 4 and 5 were a couple of seconds because I only had 2 models in my turn 5.
This is true. It's true.
I said to Shane, come and table me now, and I'm not going to table you, and then kill both my drones.
I didn't think it was going to happen, but they did.
But yeah, if you're going to lose, you want to get tabled because then you don't feel so bad. Like you can blame everybody then.
Yeah, but like as I said, like you managed the primary, like you almost maxed it out, which was part like that. That's part of what you're trying to do for that campaign narrative piece, anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, and that was it. So that's fine. At least to know, like, doesn't matter how bad it's going, as long as somebody's not locked up in combat, I can get that done. So we just need to get through the next game with a battle honor before we move on to the new missions.
And then what will happen then is we'll then work out for phase 1 who's won it, whether it's tied, and then what happens when we go into phase 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. But the next one, we're 9 days away from the next one. Yeah, so it'll be a while before we get to that, and then I'll have to look at some dates because then we get distracted by the London GT.
Yes.
At the end of September, and we're going to want probably a couple of practice games with our tournament type lists as opposed to this narrative sideshow to make sure we're on point for that.
Yeah, and this is it. Well, because I'm just thinking of lists. I really want to stick with what I've been running because it just makes sense. But I didn't realize, like, because we play in our own meta. Like, I know mine's a little bit wider than yours because I go to the club.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But like we've said on the last 2 episodes, I'm really surprised because I watched the Auspex video today that Death Guard is the 3rd worst army. I'm like, I mean, I've been calling the list I've been running is my 50-50 list because I've won half the games with it, and the ones I've won, great. And the ones I've lost, bar 2, have been quite close. So I'm like, if that's me at a really low level of player skill, where's everyone else gone? And I know like the levels are down and whatever. So you got to think like we must be due a data slate this month. If they're doing one a month, like they said, we must be close to it.
I think we're going to be close to it. I think where we're going to get it is because we've got the preview stuff, the sneak peeks they did on Friday was all the Orc stuff. We know in the Sunday preview that they've done on Warhammer Community is a lot of the Orc stuff and the Codex, so we know that's going to be pre-order next week. So it might even be next week. Maybe it'll be the week after, because they'll wait for the Codex to get into hands, and then they might have to do emergency updates as they tend to do for FAQs and stuff like that if the Orcs come out too broken, which we can get into when we look at their stuff in a minute.
Wouldn't even rule out a day of. They've day one FAQ'd and stuff like that before, so.
No, they did it for the Leagues of Votan, didn't they? The Leagues of Votan came out and they had to release a video and everything about how broken they were.
Whoops. Well, I mean, it'll be I hope that we get. I mean, I'm still going to run it. If we get the FAQ, it'll make things a bit eeasier rather than doing it the week before. But Death Shot Terminators, 100 points.
I think because I was thinking about this, and it was after our campaign, and we talked about it a bit. I wonder if it's because, as I said, like you're a rarity in terms of that upper tier of Death Guard player in terms of your collection.
Yeah,
like that you have enough stuff that you can be like, okay, I'm going to run. You're able to run 2 or 3 of the most efficient data sheets.
Yeah.
So your lists are always going to be fairly competitive. Where when we were playing and you had to run your Highlander list, because we did it, suddenly you can't take all of your really good data sheets and you've got to dip into the depths of the codex for the other stuff.
Yeah.
And when you run that other stuff, you're like, oh yeah, this stuff isn't as efficient and isn't doing the jobs that I have come to know and love from the Death Shroud and the other Terminators. Because like even and it was only the Auspex video that kind of made me click. Is like, a lot of your plague engines are not as good as they were because they're not able to hit enough with the new cover rules.
Yeah, hitting on 4s like really hurts, especially like because those bloat drones when they come out. I went and bought 3 of them because they're amazing.
Yeah.
But now they're hitting on 4s almost all the time.
Yeah.
It's just that is hard.
And they're really swingy anyway. So you've got what is it? It's D6 plus 3 shots.
D6 plus 2 and blast.
Plus 2 and blast. So it can swing wildly. And if you're rolling low, you're only getting 3 shots, and then you're only hitting with half of those.
Yeah. It's the same with the flamer drone, isn't it? Like yesterday, got point blank up to your infantry, and I rolled a 4. Yeah. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake! I can't. I can kill 1 if I'm lucky here. And you're like, this is meant to be scary, not bouncing. So it is weird, like because the Plague Burst Crawler, I don't know why they're so expensive because they ain't that good, other than being big.
And that's where I think that is one area where you would drop points immediately, right? Because as I said, they've got the indirect, which indirect is not very good at all anymore. And then you've got the and then everything else, the entropy cannons, you've only got 2 of them.
Yeah.
And you're only getting 1 shot with each. They didn't, because they couldn't hit.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think the one time they hit, you got your invuln, which is fine. Yeah. But I was, we said it last week, like, if you could make some changes to the list, and I was having an the Tallyman needs to auto-generate the CP.
Right, yeah.
Like, that was the change I made, because I can't think of many people that I've played where they don't go, well, this character's on the board, so I get 2 CP, because you've got Bjorn, Dark Angels have it.
Bjorn Imatech has it for the Necrons. As I said, Dark Angels have it. I think Eldrad often does it for the Eldari, for the Eldar. There's you're right. The Tallyman is a bit cheap in terms of the fact that he doesn't auto it. You've got to roll for it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll pay another 10 points for him. If he auto generated, you could make him 100 points and he would stay in the list because Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, if you have a game where you roll sevens 5 times, wonderful. They don't always happen. I think he's one of the few things I think where they don't auto generate.
No, yeah,
Um,
it is tough. Jensen's just said you're struggling with ranged hits rolls. Wait until you start playing the orcs.
yeah, yeah, that's fine. But I don't think you're going to worry about that because you just go full send now, didn't you? You
Yeah,
got
and
a Primarch coming.
on the orc thing as well. That's the other thing is because that was one of the bits in the codex was that the war bosses now just generate CP as well. That's one of their native things. So
Okay,
again, that's another faction that's doing it for free.
yeah, yeah, I'd like that. That's the only thing. Yeah, maybe make it a little bit cheaper, but I feel like I run quite a lot of stuff. But I don't know if that's just because I've got I've been playing the list with three units of Poxwalker, so it always feels like I've got more. So it's not quite
Yeah.
realistic to as what they're worth, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't. As I said, it's just again, if you, I think for lots of people, not necessarily tournament side, but lots of people certainly like, as I said, just even taking like, I'm just trying to think of what I've got like Space Wolves wise, it is very chocolate box, and that
Yeah,
I don't have many units that are duplicate data sheets. It's like
mm,
one of everything.
yeah,
Although maybe that's just because of the breadth of the marine list. It's almost like you just can't have there's too many marine units. Whereas
yeah,
because thinking of Thousand Suns, I've got lots of doubles there. Um,
yeah,
and same with Necrons, is there's lots of not as many with the Necrons to be fair, but certainly with the Thousand Suns because the actual unit list for the Thousand Suns is so much smaller that it's easier to buy those multiple data sheets, and then suddenly you've got a lot more of a closer to a competitive list.
yeah.
But yeah, it's surprising to see how low Death Guard actually are from a competitive point of view.
Mm. Yeah, only one win so far, GT win so far, and that was with the demons helping. So
Oh,
it's not even proper Death Guard.
the Taliban.
Yeah,
Yeah, interesting.
yeah. But
Yeah, I'm surprised they can't make it work. But yeah, like I suppose it's one of those. Yeah, one little tweak, and then suddenly they'll go the other way.
well, and
Depends what.
that's it. Yeah. Like you can't complain. I mean, it's not the end of the world, and everyone has their moment, don't they? Well, not
Yeah,
everyone,
yeah,
most people.
yeah. No, I think most. It's swings and roundabouts. It's as I said, as the edition goes on, you get better
Yeah,
and you get worse.
yeah.
Um, cool. Well, that was the campaign, the admin hammer, and the woes of the Death Guard. Any more, Glenn, on admin hammer or the campaign? Does that make sense?
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
In all fairness, like the old Crusade rules weren't the simplest and most straightforward either going forward.
No, I remember I played a couple of games of it from the ninth edition codex, and again, it was just like there was a lot. There was a fair chunk to keep hold of because you had, yeah, it was almost more like Necromunda,
Yeah.
where you would have like your individual models would get like different impact, like they might be injured or they might get like a skill or they might, you had to remember all of these bits and pieces and be like, oh no, that unit, because they got destroyed in the last battle, you get them back again for the next one in your list, but they're shell shocked or something like that. And you're like, that's a pain in the ass. But yeah. This one, it feels simpler in terms of your list and what you're doing with it,
Yeah.
but it's a bit more complex in terms of the after battle farting around and
Yeah.
the scoring. Um, but as I said, for a first time, I dare say that we come to the second one, will probably be a bit quicker, just
Yeah, of
because
course.
we kind of know what we're doing. Same as like you know, our first games of 11th edition took probably a similar amount of time, to be fair, because we had to keep stopping and being like, oh, okay, this rule's changed. How does that interact now?
Yeah,
This rule's
yeah,
changed. How does that interact now? Like we even had one that came up yesterday, which was the Feel No Pain and Invuln for Typhus. And I think we were doing it right, John. You did get it right.
I think yeah,
I was rethinking it and I was like, no, that is the only way you can do it.
yeah,
But it's because of the fast rolling and the allocation of wounds.
yeah,
The only way that works is that you have to do it that way. So
yeah. Because that's it. Because that's how I've played it. So again, obviously, like when you allocate your wounds now, you just go lowest first. So anything that doesn't have an invuln, you kill it off or whatever, or you can't make the save. But the poxwalkers don't have a save; they just have the feel no pain. So I was just saying, well, they're 2 damage each. So I picked up that many attacks worth of dice, rolled until the poxwalkers went, and then for Typhus, I had one left, rolled
yeah,
it, and got the 4 up. And then obviously that was where we were contesting: is that the right way to do it? Shane was like, well, you should roll for Typhus first. I was like, well, that feels mental that Typhus has got
no, yeah,
poxwalkers. Then you roll the 7 attacks, fail them, and Typhus dies, and then there's just 10 poxwalkers stood there like chilling.
wondering what to do. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's because of how they word it, is that you before you roll saves, you have to that's where I was getting stuck.
yeah,
So before you roll saves, you have to declare allocation groups. So and then you roll the saves.
yeah,
Now, because the Poxwalkers don't have the save, you're like, well, does that mean you have to roll for someone that has a save? Because there is a model in the unit that has a save, which is Typhus.
yeah,
So you have to roll the saves first. But no, I think clearly it's like you roll the allocation group and you go, okay, well, I'm going to allocate to the group that doesn't have a save first, but they've got to feel no pain. So I'll do the feel no pains until they're all dead. And then whatever's left. It's just because for fast rolling, you would roll them all. You'd like if the 10 attacks went through, you'd roll 10 dice
yeah,
and be like, okay, 10 of them failed, or 9 of them failed. So that's 9 dead poxwalkers. And then you'd roll the feel no pains, and one of them passed, and so typhus is fine. So I
yeah.
think you'd get to it either way. It's just, yeah,
It's just
it's
yeah, they've written this rule that works for 90% of the game, and then they went, oh yeah, we forgot that this guy can lead characters with no save. So it's like the
yeah,
exception to the rule, basically. Like this is
that
how it works, except for there. You can argue about it and then work it out afterwards. But yeah, I think that makes sense.
yeah, no, it absolutely does. If you were crazy, because you can pick when you're rolling, when you're
Yeah,
fast rolling, you then decide which group you allocate to first,
mm.
other than characters, because that's the other thing. Characters always have to be allocated last.
Yeah,
So that's the other bit with it as well. So that's
yeah,
always something to forget. But like for example, my Thunderwolves, 2 of them have got Storm Shields, so they've got 4 up in buns, and 4 of them don't. So you then fast roll all of the attacks and saves, and then you decide at that point which group you allocate them on. So I could decide I'm going to allocate on the Thunderwolves with the shields first, and then like they're 4 ups, but then they die first. And as soon as they start taking wounds, you then have to always allocate to that group first, then in the rest
yeah,
of the battle. Unless, of course, one of them dies, and then you've got a fresh allocation group again. But it is a lot to, I say a lot. You got to get used to it because it came
yeah.
up a couple of times at the tournament as well.
It's so easy to slip back into old ways of doing stuff as well because you're just trying to go fast, and then someone's like,
Yeah.
"No, that's wrong." You're like, then it jars you because you're like, "No, I can't remember how I was just doing it, and all I can think is the old rule." So
Yeah.
tell me, and I'll just kill whatever you want me to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I
Oh,
picking? What?
Morty, but he's still in deep strike. Yeah. Okay, I'll kill him. Yeah, fine. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed.
It's a good.
Um,
It's a good game, isn't it?
it is. It is. Right, I suppose the last thing we were going to talk about that we hadn't got around to was the stuff from Warcom
Yeah.
and what we've got on there, and that is the Sunday preview. Let me just share quickly. So we've got it.
Just a load of orcs. Nobody needs to see that.
It's all
Well,
Nobody's
there's
interested in that.
there's
orcs.
there's a couple of bits because there are orcs yet. Like fine, we've actually got a first codex, so
Yeah.
that's good. Right, fine. First codex, taken a little bit of time, but we're there. 15 detachments. That's quite punchy. I don't think they've really looked at. I don't think I've seen any previews for the detachments yet. The new army rule, the new WAR, and how
Yeah.
that works, and riled up. Data sheets for 50 units. 50 units is a big count for a faction as well. That's quite a chunky number of data sheets. And then a code to unlock the new rules in the app. And that is your ongoing subscription to the regular rules updates, new detachments, new lore and advanced hobby guides that will be added. Sure. So and
I'm
then
interested
obviously
that little sentence I was interested in because I want to know what else is going to come along other than just that sentence.
so I
Obviously,
think if you think back to Grotless in 10th edition where they gave away a load of detachments for free, I think it's going to be that, but they're not going to give them away for free.
but it's
Right.
the fact that like they've said lore hobby guides. You know, what, are they going to put paint guides
They
in
might
there as
do.
well? You know,
Yeah, that
I'm interested to see what is going to be
They could be really
there.
sneaky with the lore though, because if you go onto your character data sheet, right at the bottom, you can
True.
click lore and you
Yeah.
get 2 lines of plague marines stink, enjoy, like sort of thing.
yeah.
That might be sneaky, or they might put stuff up. I think they're gonna tie it more into Warhammer Plus, make them a bit more
Because
coherent.
that Warhammer Plus is where you've got all of the hobby guides and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's that, and they've got their new series on like coaching and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I reckon
Exactly.
there'll be a little thing on there where you go, oh, here's an alert for Warhammer Plus. If you want to paint this, click this button and go watch the tutorial or the battle rep.
Yeah. So we've got the codex.
Yeah,
We've got new models. We've got Nasdreg. A data sheet wise, if I remember correctly, looks pretty punchy.
yeah.
This is where you've got he's the one that also has the Orc War Boss standard ability to generate CP. And apparently he's delayed in Japan, Australia, and New Zealand. So there you go. That's for them. The War Boss, you've got this already, John, right? That was an Armageddon, wasn't it?
I've got the War Boss, but it didn't come with that little grot, I don't think.
Did he not?
No, not with that one. Where is he? No, he definitely didn't come with that grot. He's just on his own.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm gonna have to buy it now just to get that grot.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Well,
Yeah.
not to worry.
No, I mean other grots are available.
Other crops are right, indeed. The mech,
Yeah,
cool.
that's cool.
The boys, you've got these as well. Did the mech came in Armageddon as well, didn't
No,
it?
he didn't. No,
Oh, he didn't. Okay, so you got the
no,
mech to buy. You've
got
got
some
the
boys. And then I think these are different boys to the Armageddon boys.
Yeah, are they multi-part boys?
Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
Because all the
So
Armageddon stuff is on the bottom of this page,
Yeah,
and they're up with the new stuff.
yeah.
oh, Jensen has said that the War Boss models I don't think they are two separate ones. It says they're two separate, but I think that's optional assembly. So I think you can build it
I
from the same
think
kit.
it's one kit, but you can build him different, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Armageddon one is more like the one on the left, but then obviously the solo one you're going to be able to customize.
Oh, I see. So if you buy it as its individual release, you can build it
Yeah,
both ways, but the Armageddon one only comes as the Power Claw
yeah.
one. Gotcha. Yeah, so yeah, multi-kit Orc Boys. The War Bikers, these
Oh,
are
these
Armageddon
are
as well,
cool.
aren't
No, not Armageddon. No,
they? No,
no, they're cool though. I'm getting those.
very good. And then the truck,
Yeah, that's cool. New sculpt.
yes. And I'm sure Be interesting to see the silhouette because I know that there was some talk about the old truck not having quite the same silhouette, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that will be fine for a for tournaments. Then the Orc Command Pack and dice. So
This
more green
I
dice,
don't
John.
like. I don't like this because I thought, yeah, I'm going to get the codex. I'm going to get some models. I'm going to get the dice. I don't need data cards that are going to expire in a month. Like, I'm not interested. Stop selling them. They're crap. They mean nothing. Like, I've got the Death Guard ones from ninth edition that I used them for 1 or 2 games, and now they're just in the box. Like, I get it. It's a nice thing to have. If you're really into collecting, great. Just sell them separately. I just want the dice. I don't want. I don't want these cards. I don't.
Do you
I've got
have?
the
Do
app.
you have?
I've got the app.
Are they? Oh, so are they selling this off? I thought these were two separate things.
No, it's a pack. You got to get. Unless I've missed something, I'm pretty sure you buy the lot.
Oh,
Unless,
see, I thought the command pack was the
Was the
ref
cards?
is the reference cards,
Yeah.
and what they've added in is the tokens.
right.
So you
If
get now, not only do you get the cards, you also get a load of tokens to track all of the admin you've got to do.
Okay, so maybe if the dice are separate, I take my rent back. But
Fine.
if you have to buy it all together, the rent stays.
We will wait and see then.
Yeah, I've been wrong
Fine.
before.
Fine. And then
Terrain.
this is these are the Armageddon. So these are the Armageddon models, but they're now being released solo.
Yeah,
So you got your Pain Boy, your Banner Knob, your
yeah.
Orc Lieutenant.
Big boss.
That's it. Who's not as big as the big boss, but is a bigger boss than
Yeah,
normal boys. Your Mecha Rig, or whatever it is, gun
yeah.
rig thing,
Dakar rig.
Dakar Rig. That's it. Oh, the War Track, not the trikes. That's what I was getting confused with because you've
Yeah,
got that one, haven't you? And then
I've got that. Yeah,
you've got your Weird Boy.
yeah,
Yeah, so that was the Orc stuff. Then some Age of Sigmar made to order Skaven. I do like Skaven just because of old world and Legend of the Horned Rat on the PlayStation when I was very young. One of the first place Warhammer computer games. But they fine made to order Skaven, cool.
very nice.
More Middle Earth stuff. So scratch that Lord of the Rings. Won't get into that. Black Library, some Death Watch stuff. I quite like the special edition. I quite like the look of the book. I've got no idea what it's about. Probably won't read it. Same as the Gazgul Fracker, Prophet of the War.
Yeah.
I am actually tempted by this.
Oh,
For two
really?
reasons. Yeah, two reasons. One, obviously Space Wars. The other one, I didn't realise that the story is about Bjorn fighting off the Death Guard. So I felt that was quite
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh, nice.
I had no idea, but it is a Death Guard turn up to Fenris, and Bjorn has to shoo them off.
Oh, right. I thought only. Yeah, that's cool.
So I may give that one a go. We'll have to see. And then yeah, another book. And then of course the Gazgul Warlord of Warlords French. This is just another Gazgul, more Gazgul all of the time. And then obviously, as we said, the Warhammer TV plug.
Yeah.
So there we go. So that's what's coming up. Some big stuff.
Yeah.
Mainly orcs. Good that we know it's coming.
Yeah.
Because it's the first one we're now seeing. So hopefully that means after this we then start to see a bit more of a release, should we say, of the rest of the release of the rest of the codexes.
Yeah.
But
Space Marines won't be too far behind, I don't think.
yeah, you'd think so. And then that will be interesting to see whether some of the things do keep coming through, if that makes sense. So, are the flamer profiles going to change?
Yeah.
Is the levels of psychic going to persist across different factions?
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see how that plays out once we see another codex.
Yeah. I guess we quickly talk about like Gazgul's profile getting glowed up because now he is Primarch level strong. People have been saying,
Yes.
haven't they? So that's
Well,
big.
he's got loads of wounds.
Yeah.
And what was it? He doesn't have he can move through stuff now because does he get mobile? There was something he gets that. Oh no, he gets the infantry keyword. That's it. So he's infantry, so he can move through stuff now. Um, which is because that's what I think Auspex was saying as well, was like, why not, because he can't lead anyone anymore, why
No.
not make him a why not just make him like a monster or whatever and give him the mobile keyword like the Primarchs. But he does kick out an aura. Obviously he can make people riled up. He's got the war boss thing as well, so he's generating you CP as well if he's your warlord. And I think his gun is not as good, but his melee profile is a lot better. And then what was the other thing? Oh, Makari has changed. Makari's
Yeah,
ability is
Kari's no longer like following him around, but you can stick him in. He's running around all the boys now, buffing them, isn't he?
yeah.
Which is fine. I'm never going to get to experience that wonderful 2-up in run. I've left
No,
it too
that's
late.
yeah, that is all gone. But you know, other things will come back in due course, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Quite a busy week. And
So
I think
are you going to be buying Gazgirl?
I will be, yes. Of course I will. It'd be silly not to, wouldn't it? I
Yeah.
think well, this is it. I've been waiting. I'm waiting for the codex. I will buy Gazgul with it, and I'll probably buy Nasdrag, and hopefully some dice, and then I can round out a 2,000 point list.
Fair enough. Okay.
And we'll go from there. And that, yeah. So we'll see. But no, she's not listening. It's going to be expensive next week.
I was going to say, have you started? Can you build lists in the app yet?
I can, but you can't see anything because it's like
Fine.
you can go in and do stuff. So all I've got at the minute is tracking what I've built, which isn't a lot. But yeah, get a codex and we can start painting. It's all good. We're getting there.
All right, fair enough. Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure, as I said, when we get to the next couple of Sundays, we'll have those updates and see how you're getting on, as well as the grey knights.
Yeah. Glenn, you got we need to rebook that game.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, but we'll admin hammer that another time.
Yes.
All right. Well, I don't want to talk about combat cards. I'm miles behind. So thanks everyone for watching another episode. And we'll see you next Sunday.
Bye.
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 All right.